But here is the big lesson. The big lesson is that I chose one thing, not everything, not the entire summer that I have to be with the kids, not every single day and weekend, not vague, just one thing to hold on to, one thing that could help us stay connected, that could help us enjoy each other's company. And I allowed that one thing to be enough. Hey, listener, welcome to episode number 114 of Listen Up. So, what I'm about to share with you, I almost didn't share with you because some might think it's too much information or I'm giving you too many details and maybe it's not important or relevant. But in my heart, I feel like it is. I feel like it's important for you to know this. So, I'm going to share it. So, normally, today's episode lands on the last sacred Sunday of the month. So, what I would normally do is that I would go through the Live with Intention framework and I would announce the theme for July. And I wanted to honor that. So, I've been thinking a lot about the theme for July and getting ready for this episode. However, I am recording this episode in advance, which is not usually my MO. I like to record in real time, but I am working ahead of schedule in order to show up with excellence and make sure that I give my episode to my editor in time for editing, because I'm going to be traveling some days that I will not be able to get this episode in time if I don't do it well in advance. And because I'm working in advance, it's a little too soon for me to authentically come up with the theme for July. And I was really struggling with whether to share that or not share it. But I just think it's important for you to know that I live this content in real time. I have created a rhythm in my life of intention, of noticing, naming, and nurturing, of living by these themes. I take this work really seriously. And I cannot, in order to meet a deadline, violate the rhythm of the work. It just didn't feel right. And I wanted you to have permission in your life to not violate the rhythm of your life because of a schedule or a deadline or the way things are supposed to be or following the rules. I always say there are no rules, there are only rhythms, and you get to create your own. And I almost fell into the trap of feeling like I had to follow the rule that this episode had to be the episode where I announced the theme, even if I wasn't quite ready for it. And I'm just proud of myself for catching myself and saying, no, that is not the rule. There are no rules. There are only rhythms. So I will be working through the theme this week with my Well community in our group coaching program. We'll come up with our theme for the month. We'll think about our intentions, and I will make sure that I am ready to share with you next week. But for this week, I am going to share with you what's really on my mind, which is what has been working in June. You see, as you live with intention, you notice what is working, you notice what is not working, and you nurture each month the intention that you've set. So I set the intention in June called Join June. And I've explained it before. It was really about joining to what matters most, joining others, joining efforts, collaboration, connection, fastening to something that you believe in. It was like that kind of energy. But what I have been finding this entire month so far has been that Join June has been more about subtraction than addition, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be about adding more, but it's really more about simplifying, which means letting go of some things, subtracting some things. And some of those things are just my expectations or things that no longer serve me, old beliefs, old habits, old patterns. It's been really, really interesting. So throughout the month, I think about a few things. And one of the things that I think about is what is saving my life? It's actually a prompt I share with my well community every single week. We prompt them and we ask them on one day in the week, like, what is saving your life? And we are training them to think about that concept, not what is killing you, not what is eating you alive, not what is robbing you of your peace. What is working? What is saving you? What is freeing you? What is serving you? I got this prompt from Emily P. Freeman, who is the author of The Next Right Thing Journal and has a podcast called The Next Right Thing. And she often has episodes like, what is saving my summer life, or what is saving my winter life, things like that. And I really appreciate her approach to this, and I have borrowed it in my own life. So I spend the entire month noticing what is working, noticing what is not working, noticing what is saving my life, noticing how am I nurturing the themes that I have set for myself. As I connect the dots, I kind of live with that reflection lifestyle. Then towards the end of the month, I close the loop on it and I set myself a new intention. I get ready to add one more a pearl onto my necklace. I say that, your intentions each year is like one more little pearl on your necklace of life. That has been a beautiful process and a beautiful experience. So this month, when I thought about what is saving my life, what is working, there was a few examples of ways that I've simplified and subtracted in order to connect to what is important to me. I started the month off feeling very anxious and overwhelmed. And I want to say that one of the reasons that I felt that way was because my office was in disarray. The subfloor of my little she shed rotted, which was a disaster and required a lot of work. Because of that, we had to move everything out. My stepdad came in to pull out the floors, pull out all the mold. It was just a big project, and resurface the entire shed from the inside, right? Like the whole floor and all this kind of stuff. And during that time, I had all of my office furniture in my living room, our books, my things. I didn't have my dedicated space for this podcast, for my group calls, for my work. I was kind of enmeshed with my family, and everything was blending in and everything was messy. And I think it created a lot of overwhelm. That, coupled with just having a lot of things to do as a mom, wife, entrepreneur. It's the end of the school year. There was just things that I had, loops that I had open that were pending. There was a lot of anxiety creeping into my heart and my soul. So June 1st, I remember, was like a day of deep, deep anxiety. And I felt like I wanted to do so much. I don't know if this happens to you, but it's like you want to accomplish everything and you want to tackle every goal, and everything feels important and urgent. And yet you can't quite pinpoint what is important or urgent. It's so vague that it just weighs heavily on you, and you can't quite put your finger on what to tackle first. So this is how I was feeling. So what I did was that I spent one day in reflection, in just bringing myself back to the present moment and naming a few things that were weighing heavily in my heart. And once I named them, everything changed. One of the things that I named was that I had to get my taxes done. Random, but I always have my taxes done by April 15th. This is the first year that I had an extension and I delayed putting together the taxes, and it was renting so much space in my head I can't even tell you. So I had that open loop really bothering me. That was one. The other one was my relationship with my boys. You see, I was entering summer, and suddenly, whenever I enter summer, I always look at summer as like this fleeting moment. I read once, that you only have 18 summers with your kid, and that like created an incredible sense of urgency in my mind of enjoying my summers with my kids. And my son is about to be 18 in October. I mean, he's got one summer left before his senior year. Plus, a lot of our friends' kids have graduated this year, so it all feels very, very, very close. So I have this sense that our summers are going to be over, right? So I was coming into the summer of, I have to enjoy my children. I have to enjoy my children. However, my children are not little children anymore. They are teenagers and they are young men, and they have young men interests, and spending time with mom doesn't look the same anymore. Now, they definitely need me for Ubering. I can give them rides everywhere. But in terms of spending time together, there has been a shift. So I was feeling this duality of pressure that I want to be with them, coupled with not knowing how to be with them, and also feeling like I don't really belong in their circle anymore. Like, I'll give you an example. On the weekend, they want to go play golf. So my husband plays golf, they play golf, they all get together and they go to the golf course to play golf. And what does Gato do? Gato's home, Now, I can get a lot of work done during that time, but then I'm feeling guilty that I'm not with them. Should I be spending time with them? It's our last summer together. You see where this is going. It could be a whole mess. So I thought about that and I was like, oh, I've got to figure this out. I've got to name this. What is it that I really want? I remember one day my little guy said, Mom, you could come and play golf with us. You could just ride in the cart and just, you could hit balls if you want, or you could just spend time with us. But he was making sure to let me know that I was not being excluded from their activities. And I thought about it, and I had to admit, I didn't want to play golf. That's not what I wanted to do. And I have to give myself permission to be okay with that. Like, for a long time, I've just done whatever my family wants me to do, whether I want to do it or not. And this one didn't feel right anymore. I was like, no, maybe it is time for me to start doing things I want to do while they are doing things they want to do. And I don't have to feel guilty about it. So I sat in thinking about this a little bit, and I came up with a plan. And this plan is saving my life, legitimately. I came up with 5-finger night. One night a week during the week, so on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday, so that it doesn't interfere with my kids going out with their friends on the weekends or their lives or anything like that. It doesn't interfere with their golf games. It's one night of the week where I choose an activity that I believe they will enjoy, but that I want to do. So the requirement is that I'm going to enjoy it also. And we come together that night of the week, and it is our 5-finger night, non-negotiable, sacred. We're going to spend that evening together. So I had my very first one last week. I chose an escape room. Nobody was super delighted about the escape room. My husband wasn't delighted that he had to rush home from work on a Wednesday to be able to go to this thing. It seemed a little bit forced at first, but I let it ride, and I just trusted that this was something that was important to me and it was my moment with my family. I have a chat with us, the Five Fingers chat. I reminded them multiple times throughout the week, this is going to be our five finger night. This is going to be our five finger night. These are the plans that we're doing. And I took full responsibility for that plan. I did it all by myself. Normally, I would defer to my husband. I would let him make the plans. I am kind of an easygoing, go with the flow kind of woman. I'm not super demanding at all. But this was me being proactive and saying, there needs to be a shift. I want time with my family and I want it to be on my terms. So I pulled it off. We all got in the car. We went to the escape room. We had a lovely time. We had so much fun. And then we went to dinner afterward. And when we got home, they all mentioned how nice it was. And my husband said to me, Gato, this was a really great idea. I can't wait till next five finger night. And it felt like a huge, huge success. So I have all sorts of five finger nights planned for this month. I know I have like a thing that I want to do every week. And I'm just so excited about it. Hey, I'm going to take a quick pause from the episode to share this with you. As an inspirational storyteller, I don't only love to speak wisdom into your heart, I also love to write to you. So every Sacred Sunday, I send a love letter to my readers. It is called the Moment of Clarity newsletter, and it is where I share stories and reflections that don't always make it onto the podcast. It's also how I live with intention in real time. I am writing to you fresh and raw every single week. So if you want that kind of wisdom in your inbox every Sunday, go to carolinedepasada.com/love letter and sign up. I will see you there. But here is the big lesson. The big lesson is that I chose one thing, not everything. Not the entire summer that I have to be with the kids, not every single day and weekend, not vague, just one thing to hold on to, one thing that could help us stay connected, that could help us enjoy each other's company. And I allowed that one thing to be enough. So again, I simplified it. I removed all of the added pressures and all of the fluff, and I just made it simple. One little thing. The other thing I did was, I've told you before that I really want to do a pull-up, and I was not working toward that pull-up. I'm doing nothing to reach that goal of doing a pull-up. But I really want to do it. So I've been thinking about how to make it happen. And it occurred to me that I could have my husband train me to do the pull-up. So I've been joining him at his gym on his workouts so that he can start guiding me towards doing the pull-up. And boy, have I learned from this man. I mean, the way that he exercises, the way that he approaches strength and those workouts is admirable. I mean, it's the subject of an entire episode, I swear. But in the process, like, it's taken me a little bit. I've been doing this for a couple months. It didn't start in June. I've gone with him one day, then the next day, then the next time I don't go. I don't really have a system. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. I've been dipping my toe in the whole gym thing with him, but I certainly have been going at a couple times a week. I've been going with him. But one thing that developed this month is that we went to the gym on a Friday evening. It happened once, and then it happened twice. And now I think we formed a little tradition, a little ritual. And that is, we turned Friday night at the gym into our date night. Date night with my husband, which we never do. We don't really love going out to restaurants because we like to eat healthier foods and than we can find at restaurants. So we don't love that. And we do love to be home, and we're not partiers. Like, we don't really go out that much, But going to the gym on a Friday is serving us both. It's serving my goal of getting stronger so that I can do a pull up. And he has me to join him on a Friday night instead of going by himself to the gym or skipping altogether if things get complicated. It's become like our little couple thing. So Friday nights at the gym is our new date night. And that has been saving my life in June. Again, simple, nothing extraordinary, but it is working. It is working. And I feel more connected to my husband. I feel more connected to my family. And I feel more connected to my peace because the simplicity of it all is giving me permission to spend the rest of my time focused on my work, on my life, the things that are important to me, on my clients, and that has been very, very supportive. So, June is not over for me. We still have a few weeks left to go. I am sure that more things are going to develop in the next couple of weeks because when you live with intention and you really follow this rhythm and you reflect on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, you will find that it slows life down just a little bit. The months stretch themselves a little bit more when you have this lifestyle, and it allows you to connect the dots and notice what's working and step into new energies and choose new intentions and focus on what matters most. And also let the rhythm guide you. Let the rhythm guide you. This year for me is a year of excellence. And I've been trying to figure out what that means for me. What does excellence truly feel like? How do I show up in excellence in every way? And I can't say I've mastered it or figured it out completely, but there is a sense that I am showing up more confidently, more with more trust, with more patience, and that feels more excellent. And each theme that I've chosen every month so far in the last 6 months have felt like they are a little seed that's being planted towards living a life of excellence. So I think we're on our way. I think we're in alignment. So now I ask you, what is saving your life right now? What is working for you? For you, as you listen to this, you are at the end of June for yourself. What have you noticed this month? Are you ready to name your intention for next month? Have you even stopped to connect these dots? Take a deep breath, slow down, and take a minute to decide. And if you're not quite ready this week, don't worry, because next week we'll be back with a theme for July. But this is your invitation to participate in the process without rules, only rhythms, honoring what is true for you and honoring the direction that you wish to go in your life. I hope this episode has served you. I wish you a beautiful last Sunday of June, and I will see you next week with a new month and a new theme. Bye for now. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for being here. It means the absolute world to me. Now, if this show helps you live with a little more intention and you love it, the best way to support it is by following wherever you listen and leaving a rating or a review. That is how new listeners can find us, and it helps more than you can imagine. So until next time, keep noticing the sparks of bliss in your life. Bye for now.